Hello and welcome to the Investor Motivation Podcast. We've got Rachel and myself, Rob Goudie. Welcome, Rach. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well, Rob. How are you going?
Going very well. How's your week been?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really
Yep.
good. Chatting to lots of lovely people as per normal. Yeah, watching the stock market and everything that's going on in the world just quietly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
It's
just
been as usual. It's been dynamic. It moves quickly, and I've been watching a few of the comments on some of my videos on volatility to try to say, "Hey guys, stop looking," and
yeah,
people slide into the comments saying, down $20,000," and I just think if you didn't look, you wouldn't know. And then because after they're saying that, they're saying, "And I've moved to cash," and then the next
yeah,
day, predictably up 2%, and they've just
yeah,
missed it.
yeah. It's definitely yeah, challenging one for people to navigate on their own. So
It is. The
yeah,
technology, no doubt, is working against, I believe, against people. It's playing right into the hands of emotions and making, bad decisions at the worst possible times. But this is nothing new, and but that's not our
yeah.
topic today.
No.
Today, case study again, Rach, and this is one of my client case studies. Um,
Yes,
so
it is.
So someone who won't come on as a client, at least as yet, because this is more of a question around, how do I make a move to be close, move town to be closer to family? So let me give you the background to this. So a single person, mid 50s, and has no debt whatsoever, which is
Lovely
perfect.
position to be in. Yeah.
Great, great position. So, like what happens in small towns like ours, that quite often children move away, and once those kids settle, obviously parents sometimes want to be that little bit closer to help out with some babysitting and some fun stuff. So, keen for a move. There is no expected inheritance. No one's coming to save this person with a massive lump sum down the track, and something that they're very well aware of. And as part of the move, gone off to the bank and said, "Hey, bank, how much money would you give me?" And it was about an income of about $120,000 or thereabouts. And could you take a guess, Rach, on how much they've suggested that they would give her?
No, I don't know. Maybe 800,000.
Look, you weren't that far. It was a big number. It was $640,000, which for someone that's in mid 50s, there's zero chance that that's going to be paid off. So, yeah, a really large number, but of course, we probably, don't know information. The bank was told at the time that, whether intending to sell the current house, which happens to be part of the case study. So definitely looking to sell the current home and make the move.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so a discussion around, how much debt would be appropriate.
Okay. And how did you go with that one?
Well, I suppose, and for me, this is really where there was no need for any, formal advice around financial products. It's about making these right decisions now. So I
Yeah.
essentially, my advice is that the change needs to be like for like. That
Yeah.
it's that, if you get $400,000 where you're moving to, you need $400,000 is your budget. And the order in which you do this as well. Should I be buying a property now and renting it out before I get there and I can take my time? So there's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these types of questions.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's a nice way of ranking. Is a soft launch as well, isn't it? To find out whether the location's for them as well, or for her. So yeah, and
Yeah.
again about yeah slowing things down a little bit too. I guess there's that rash decisions where you can, yeah, you want to be there and with the kids, but yeah, you might regret that down the track if you're not stepping your way into it.
Absolutely. And yeah, yeah, and I think there's a lot of, it's understandable why people are saying, "Hey, I better get in now because I'm really concerned that the market's just going to keep going up, up and up, and it gets beyond me, because that's what's been happening in Australia for the
Yeah.
last 30 years. So we spoke about, the factors and the things that have driven property prices over this last 3 decades, and whether those factors can happen again moving forward. And this is where I said I don't believe that that should be a concern to you, that you're quickly buying and rushing yourself to get into the market, because a lot of the factors that have driven it in the past, which have been, households go from one household income to two, interest rates from the 90s have come down to these very low levels. I know they've edged up recently, but historically, these are very low levels. And, that the punchline is here that it's the significant amount of debt that,
And cash flow
yeah,
too. Yeah.
so debt has been driving up these uh, property valuations, which is putting, a lot of stress on people's cash flow.
Yeah. And I
So
guess
for
you.
me,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
going to say, did that come into, I guess, place you'd be accustomed to having no debt and then probably, yeah, just cruising as such, or having the ability to save or invest, or were those sort of the things that you spoke about as well, how that can translate, and her retirement goals, does that,
correct. Yeah,
yeah,
we definitely
employment?
had these discussions that even if it's it's an upgrade of, draws down 1 or 200,000 dollars, which I know most people listening would shrug their shoulders and say, gee, well, that's not bad. That's not, to find the home that you like. But what that, obviously all debt needs to be paid back, but the effect that that has is you don't then get the ability to do the low-hanging fruit strategies around salary sacrificing into superannuation, maximising that each and every year, because, even a small amount of debt takes a fair bit of servicing, and it inhibits the ability to do the other things to generate, great superannuation balances that would increase cash flow at retirement.
And also, yeah, thinking about things like, will it restrict if some of her goals are to travel, or if she enjoys spoiling the grandkids, does all of that suddenly get stripped back? And I guess that's the trade offs that people don't take into account enough. They're sort of, yeah, thinking about, it's only a little bit of debt, but yeah, as you said, that can impact cash flow, which then, yeah, something's got to give at some point, and what are you prepared to sacrifice?
Yeah, those things that you just mentioned, spoiling grandkids, travelling, that was mentioned within the first 5 minutes of our conversation. And
Yeah,
as soon as you add in debt to that, it's going to compromise the ability to do all those things.
yeah,
And and the beauty of, you know making it a like for like change, and this is the financial advice that I was suggesting. If you can make it like for like, it might be a slight downgrade in the size of the house, or how much you love the house, or whatever it is. It might be a slight downgrade, but cash flow is not going to be compromised. You can, what you do between mid 50s and retirement is, very boringly, save yourself 17% tax on super contributions that are concessional. Very
yeah,
simple strategy, and you just do that religiously and not have debt, and then that frees up that cash flow to not only salary sacrifice, but then to spoil the grandkids.
yeah,
To
yeah,
make,
and
yeah.
yeah, and did you get the projector out and sort of
I,
show the impact
I,
of
yeah,
what
in
it
this
could look like?
scenario, I actually didn't, because I just knew that, even a small amount of debt is going to affect the cash flow so negatively that it's going to inhibit the ability, to do a lot of these other things.
Yeah,
Save tax via salary sacrifice, spoil grandchildren, and have awesome holidays. Or,
yeah,
yeah, because we did speak about how important it is, while we're young enough and have health, that is a good time to go and do some fun things.
yeah. Had this client sort of made up their mind as to what they wanted to do, or were they more coming in as for you to be a bit of a buffer and a guide. Were they fluid in their thinking, do you
Yes,
think? Yeah.
fluid enough. There was definitely, already thoughts around what, what was wanting to be purchased, and
Yeah.
there was definitely a mindset that I've got to try to not not take on debt. So came in with the
Yeah.
right decision making, which was great. So, and
Yeah.
this is often what happens. Sometimes people come in, and we're just, confirming that these are the right decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So absolutely, I'd say that, yeah, that we provided great confirmation, but then added some extra layers of, well, if you make that good decision and you do it, you don't need the bank at all. Um, then, this gives you so much flexibility. And, and I mentioned about maximising superannuation. I said, look, the beauty of salary sacrifice into super and saving that tax. But let's say for one particular year you had to spoil the kids a bit extra, and you had to go on a, a nicer holiday, that you can dial salary sacrifice down
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
When it comes to debt, the bank is not going to, um, come to you and say, oh, look, you're having a tougher year, you've had a few holidays, let's reduce your repayments for this year. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Again, you lose that flexibility. Yeah, across the
Um,
board.
One question that was really top of mind, for this person was, went straight to one of the big four banks,
Okay.
and she, felt as though she was doing the wrong thing there, and she didn't go to a mortgage broker. Uh, yeah, obviously I gave her my thoughts on that. But what
What were
was your?
your thoughts? I'm
Well,
interested
I
in
was
yours,
interested in
right?
yours. Well, my thoughts were, it's not the big ticket item. It's not the, it shouldn't be, that should not be high on her decision making list. It's a
Yeah.
non-issue. Whether you get 0.2 or 0.1% better rate somewhere else, it was just nothing that she should spend too much time thinking about. The big ticket item is, how do you do this without debt at all?
And how do you do it
And
without
then,
risk as well, as we say, that
correct.
comes with it. And
Yeah,
if she's a single person on her own, then, she's only got herself to rely on. So that, going into debt then increases her,
that's
security
right.
and buffer.
No, no one was there to save her. And one thing that we sent her was reports from economists that talk about what has driven property values in the past. Can that happen again? To take the rush out, that, oh, I've
Yeah.
got to get in before the market just keeps going up. So I was pretty keen that, like your voice said to your clients, to slow down, to make calmer, quieter and decisions without being rushed, because there's never a good decision around when people are rushed and emotional.
Yeah.
So I suggested that to her, and I also suggested that, look, wherever you're looking to move, the thought of renting for a little bit, see if you like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And property is a big one to unwind if you don't get it right. You've got stamp duty, obviously, at a cost to get in. And then also you've got agent costs to get out. So if you're thinking buy and I'm only there 6 months, it's a
Yeah.
massive loss as well financially.
We're talking tens of thousands of dollars that,
Yeah.
10, 20 grand in commissions to get out. Who knows what it costs to, stamp duty, it's, whether it's
It's
40
nothing's
or 50
cheap.
grand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So,
again, that taking the time and, like I said, is renting an option to make sure that it's where you want to be. Does she have any other kids in different locations? Is that like, did she have to pick?
no, she didn't have to pick. It wasn't
Okay,
a choice around that. All
yeah,
within, an hour of where this person was thinking.
lovely.
So, yeah, so that all worked well. But yeah, I think the way people should think about renting, should be different to what it is, and that everyone sees it as some significant evil. That, rent is dead money. It's not dead money at all. And if people want to argue that point with me, I will always say, well, if you think rent is dead money, then the interest you pay to the bank, the rates you pay to a council, the insurance you pay to a big corporate is also dead money.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a side to the security, and everyone wants to own their own home, but yeah, it's particularly a viable option if you're making big decisions like you're speaking of, just to
Yeah,
make sure you get it right.
correct. And I'm not suggesting that, renting was a long-term option. It was just go and have a look, see if you like it, and
Yeah,
if you do like the area you're in, then you go hunting. But it's more, done, done a bit slower,
yeah,
more measured decisions.
yeah. Was there any other things you can think of that come up in conversation, or was it more that
Um,
transition for her regarding where
yeah,
she lives?
yeah, no, she knows that you're going to need to work through to pension age.
Yeah,
We spoke about salary sacrifice and investing in the right asset classes, but those weren't the big ticket items,
yeah,
the investment side of it. The salary sacrifice was definitely a big part of what just needs to happen.
yeah.
Um, Now, the scenario, if she did need to take on some debt to get in the house that she's happy with, and I
Mm-hmm.
also understand why people would need to do that. I also, would suggest that you don't pay any extra off. That you pay the minimum only to allow yourself to maximise the superannuation concessional contributions, because the tax saving on the marginal tax rate of 17% is too attractive compared to paying 5 or 6% on the loan. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then would implement transition to retirement strategies and use
Mm-hmm.
the pension from superannuation to pay the principal down, with tax-free pension payments. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
spoke briefly around those, but I really made sure that the big ticket items was, please don't go into debt if you can help it, and
Yeah,
that'll allow you
yeah.
to salary sacrifice and have fun today, spoil the grandkids, the things that that we really value.
Yeah. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Thanks, Rach. You've got a meeting coming up. Where can people find you if they're looking for you on socials?
So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, see on here.
That's Rach Todman or Rachel Todman, all the above.
Rach Todman, I think, or all of the above. Yeah.
Fantastic. And of course, on our YouTube channel, Invest Motivation, for those that aren't listening to us here on YouTube for a podcast, please check out there. There's nearly 1,000 videos there, and people also need to be mindful of fake accounts of Rachel and myself. We will never direct message you first on social media. If someone does that using our profiles, it will be 100% fake. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Rachel, for your questions and curiosities.
Thanks for
We'll see you
sharing.
soon.
Okay.
Catch ya. Bye
Bye.
bye.